Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be explaining what I've learned after a year of day trading. Um, I know I haven't been uploading very consistently. However, that's going to change now. I'm fully going to start committing to YouTube as I have with trading. And I feel like today I'm just going to go through what I've learned throughout my last year of trading. So I started trading May time last year, and I came in with extremely unrealistic expectations. I thought it'd be really easy to pick up, which it just hasn't been, and it won't be for a lot of people, but it's completely fine. Just keep at it and keep going with it. And I wish somebody told me sooner how hard it would have actually been to properly start trading, but it just takes time and practice, and that's what I'm going to continue to talk about in this video. So the first thing I want to get into is that trading is not at all fast money. There is no way you can come into trading unless you're gambling and just be consistently making good profits. You're going to be making losses first, and you're going to have to accept that and learn from those losses. So there's two types of people that come into trading initially. You've got people that are like the image on the left and people that are like the image on the right. The image on the left is an illustration of Sisyphus, who was an ancient king who was condemned to roll a boulder up a hill for the rest of eternity. And that's quite akin to what trading feels like. It feels like you're putting all this effort in and you're not seeing any results, but you just have to stick with it and find your own purpose in it, like Sisyphus did. You just have to stick with trading and just keep charging at it until you get it. And then you got people that are like the image on the right. So people that are like the image on the right, they came in with those unrealistic expectations. Those expectations weren't met. They visibly spat their dummy out and just gave up with trading. They didn't bother continuing. And I can only but say, don't be the person on the right. If you're actually serious about trading, go for it. If you're not, don't bother. And next, I wanted to just say that learning is not the same as earning. So with coming into trading, it's extremely easy to assume that I've started as I'm learning, surely the amount of money I'm making is going to go up. And to a degree, that's true. However, there's a long phase of trial and error where you have to learn your strategy, develop your skills, and just completely understand the way the markets work. And as we can see, I've gone through many funded challenges. Look, all those 50k combines, I just burnt through them. I think I started trying challenges early. I was on demo for like a good 7 months, and still you can see I burnt through these funded challenges. It's seriously not easy. But what I did understand is that as I was failing these accounts, I was learning why I was failing them and not replicating those things in my next processes. And that's something I'm going to be talking about later, learning from your losses. But for now, next, small piece of advice, trade one thing well. One of the mistakes I made, one of the main mistakes I made was I was flitting between Euro USD, GBP JPY, NASDAQ S&P, and like gold as well. And I was learning market mechanics from each different pair or each different index or item, and I was trying to mash these into one strategy, and that's just not possible. Each one of these markets has its own behavior, its own type of price action, so you can't really do a little bit of everything at the start. Just get really good at one thing, and I wish I did that sooner. It was only a few months ago I started specifically trading NASDAQ and S&P. So moving on, these are the 3 things you should completely avoid in your first year or just in general. And these are 3 things I wish I avoided. And the first one's over leveraging. So that can be in many ways. So if that's being too cocky, too ignorant, too egotistical, or simply risking more than you should on trades. And a lot of that is down to strategy and profitability and risk management in general. But that's something I'm going to speak about in a completely different video. Just understand that over leveraging is going to be one of your main enemies while you're learning. And the next of the 3 deadly sins is trading every day. So it can be very motivating to trade every day. If you're every day learning new stuff, you're going to want to apply it to the market. I understand that. However, with developing a strategy, you have to understand you're probably not going to see entries every day, and that's okay. Don't force entries which aren't there just because you want to trade. That's how you're going to end up losing a lot more trades, and it's a lot more psychological than you'd think. And I have a bunch of videos to come speaking about psychology. So yeah. And the next of the 3 deadly sins is not journaling. And journaling can be so helpful because when you lose a trade, you can write a little description, put a screenshot or whatever, just write a note as to why you think you lost that trade. And then when you're going to make more trades, you can look back and be like, oh, am I doing something which I believe caused me to lose my last trade? And you won't make that mistake again. Like for me, it was trading on unemployment days or CPI days, or not waiting for another confluence or like clear market structure shift. But through journaling, you can actually visually see where you're going wrong, and I find that extremely helpful, and I wish I started doing it sooner. So these are the 3 things I would most definitely start doing differently, or what I wish I started doing differently. And that is back testing a lot more frequently, so getting a solid strategy with a good profitability and a good risk-reward ratio with the trades that you're taking in your strategy. Making sure I'm learning every day, because learning every day, it compounds. Like if you learn 1% of a skill every day for a year, you'll be 365% better at that skill by the end of the year. That kind of thing, just constantly learning. And then another thing is building discipline. So that involves knowing when to trade, when to not trade, understanding and not revenge trading, and general risk management as well. Just completely focusing and patterning your psychology in the market. And for our last slide of this video, this is the best advice I can give. Find people who are also trying to trade. So get yourself in communities, find friends, just have that support network so you can bounce off of each other with ideas and grow together. And that's one thing I want to start doing. So because of that, I've actually started a Discord, which I've linked in the description below, where people can join. It's completely free. I just wanted to start a community where I can meet people like me, people below me, people better than me, and we can just exchange ideas and get further in the day trading space. So all the information for that will be below. The server's very work in progress. There's like no staff whatsoever. It's just me and my friend. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, please consider liking, subscribing, leaving your thoughts on the video. Just letting me know that you're enjoying the content I'm creating, because I am trying to make this a long-term thing. And yeah, I will upload weekly from now on, hopefully. I've said that a few times, but from now on, uploading weekly. All right, that's it. See you later.